What's going on, guys? So we're going to take a look at the stock market today and see kind of what we did in the Nasdaq 100. So what I have pulled up here is the triple Qs on the 1 hour time frame. So today, I'm pull up my drawing tool here. We can kind of see that we, made this attempt to make a little push higher, got rejected at the 20-day moving average, and then kind of slid all day. It was really that last 30 minutes, that last hour of the day where we kind of really slid back into this previous zone here. And this zone, I had it going from last week. Basically, you can see this zone was acting as a level of resistance all week. And we also did have this level of demand where every time we came down into this range, we would bounce higher. So if we take a look at this, buyers were comfortable stepping down in here between 335 and 340. We would bounce back up into the zone between 352, 355, get rejected, come down, bounce up, come down, bounce up, come down, bounce up. Pretty good, easy range trading last week, even though we just didn't go anywhere. We pretty much ended the week flat. It was good to, take some short positions here, kind of cover at the bottom of the zone, flip your bias, go calls, and then kind of just ride these waves up and down. So what we did have happen here is we did break into this top of the supply and did break out. So as soon as we got that first initial breakout, we pushed into this 365, which was a 200-day moving average on the triple Qs, and then we sort of consolidated. Once we consolidated, then we really broke higher and then pushed into these highs here of around 372 in the after hours session. We did know, obviously, we had Facebook earnings that came in this week that were very, very bad, pulled the market all the way down here in the after hours session, traded sideways, and then today we kind of just faded. So here's what I want to take a look at going into tomorrow. We did have Amazon and Snapchat earnings that came out after hours today, and they really, really helped lift the market. Because if you were following the market today in the after hours session, it got pretty like it started to escalate to the downside very, very quick. So I was kind of looking at this bottom zone here, thinking that potentially we could catch this bottom range here if this area was going to act as support. So what we want to see is we want to see this zone start to act as support, but I'm going to play out just two scenarios here. One is going to be a best case scenario and the other one is going to be a not so good scenario here. One thing that I do want to notice here, we do have this high, we do have this shoulder here. If we do get this next push, like tomorrow going into Friday, end of the week, if we do get this little push from these Amazon and Snapchat earnings to where, let's say we do break out of this zone and we come up and then we start to chop around maybe around 365, what I want to look for here is this previous resistance, okay, which was going to be the left shoulder. If we kind of draw a line here, and if we don't really break above and actually close over tomorrow between 367, 370, kind of back test that and hold, if that doesn't happen, and we kind of just come up into this range to 365, chop around sideways, and then towards the end of the day, we start to fade and lose this area, we can almost start to see that maybe this is our potential right shoulder here with the top of, with the bottom of this range here, this 352 being our neckline and our line in the sand. That's really not what we're going to want to see, because if we do potentially lose 359 tomorrow on a close and come back into this range, I could see us falling to 352, making an attempt to bounce back up to 355, 357, and then kind of come crashing down into this 335, 340 area. Now, this is what we do not want to see. But you can kind of see how it's playing out. So are these Amazon earnings going to hold? Is it going to prop the market up? Or are we just going to consolidate in the after hours session, give us a little push up right off the bell, maybe the first hour or two, and then kind of just fade around the rest of the day and then come down into this zone next week? If that's the case and we do get rejected and tomorrow we do start to sell off, you actually might have a shot at trying to short a position here going from the zone of 357 to 352, and anything below 352 obviously is going to spell the leg down back into this range, and we know that if we do lose that 334 area is going to be very, very bad. So here's the better scenario. What we would want to see, continue to chop around here in the after hours and pre-market session, and tomorrow really break through this zone, taking out this level here and really putting in a high 367, 370. Even if we do fade off tomorrow, it's not going to be that big of a problem as long as we come back tested 365 and hold. If we do that, then we could potentially be looking for a run up into next week. to take out these highs. And the next resistance area is going to be around 377 to 382. Definitely something that you're going to want to take a look at. If you do kind of look at the bigger picture here, maybe we did put in this low here off this consolidation. We did have this run up. Now this is a back test of the zone. This is going to be a higher low. And then now we're going to start ripping higher. That's going to be something that you're going to want to look for if you're bullish. So just kind of keep that in mind. The level that you want to keep in mind tomorrow is this 365. Do we close over 365? This is bullish going into next week. Okay, if we close over 365, extremely bullish. If we do come into 365 and we chop around tomorrow and we start to fade towards the end of the day, this is bearish. Okay, going into next week. I'm not talking about long term. I'm not talking about, you know, what's going to happen the rest of this year. I'm just talking about maybe going into next week. It could be potentially a little bearish to lose that bottom of this zone around 359. And if we do lose 359 and 354, 352 is going to be our absolute, you know, kind of max pain there. If we are in any kind of long positions, you're really not going to want to be a part of that. And if you are going to want to take a part to the downside, you're going to really want to lose this 359 area. And also know you're going to have a little bit to cover here right around this 352. But this is going to be our neckline. And if we do lose 352, this is not going to be good for the overall markets, because that's going to mean that Microsoft's earnings did not save us, even though we recovered. Google's earnings did not save us, even though we recovered. Amazon's earnings did not save us, even though we recovered. So how many more of these earnings reports can we get before the market finally gives up? So we need to absolutely, if you're bull biased, we need to absolutely break through this zone of 365 tomorrow and kind of tread around sideways. We do not want to lose that 365 zone. We want to close over 365. So next week we get that ramp. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, give me a like. Also join my Discord. That link is down in the description box below, and I will see you guys all on the next trading video.